When I moved to New York City, I had one suitcase. I didn't know anybody. I barely had a career. I had no contacts. I had no accomplishments, nothing to go off of, just the hunger, the drive, the ambition to make it happen, and the belief in myself that I could really come to the city and accomplish what I wanted to. And after a couple years, I can confidently say that I really am starting to at least feel like I've made it in New York City. I've got a really challenging and really fulfilling career, and I get to work on projects that really excite me. I've been able to date and marry the most beautiful person I know and have an amazing son very recently, my first kid. But my life didn't always look like this. And a question I get all the time on social media is, how did I start and how do I approach personal growth and personal development? So in today's video, I really wanted to break down my own approach to personal development and how I've crafted a life that I really have enjoyed and am enjoying living. So step one, or really step zero of this, is to figure out who you actually are. Now, this can be through personality assessments, this can be through asking friends and family, but you basically want to really understand what your superpowers are and what are the unique skills and capabilities that you really bring to the table. Maybe you're super personable. Maybe you can adapt to situations quicker than anyone else you know. Really get a good, solid idea of who you are, what you believe in, and the skills or superpowers that you bring to the table, because that'll help you go to the next step, which is the real step one of getting inspired. Secret of mine is that I actually use Tumblr and Pinterest pretty heavily because they're great mood boards. You can really find a lot of visuals that should inspire you. You need to start building out a visual representation of what you want your life to look like. Where are you living? What kind of apartment are you living in? What does your partner look like? What life do you live? How much money are you making? What are you doing for work? What do you do on your weekends? All these things. Start to build a visual sort of mood board or guidebook or manual in terms of just visually what it will look like once you reach those goals and once you start to put these pieces of your life together. After you do that, I would say the next step is really making sure you're surrounding yourself with really impressive people that'll push you and challenge you. And also, if you need to, getting out of your current environment. I mean, for me, coming to New York City, a place that really challenges you, really helped me get to become the person who I am today. It put really big challenges in front of me, and I had to just become a better, more savvy, more intelligent, more successful person to overcome them. And so you want to make sure that you're not outgrowing your environment and that you're not outgrowing the people you spend time with. And so you've got to upgrade or add people into your circle that'll push you, and you should do the same with your physical environment as well. Next, you have to realize that success begets success, but you have to get started small. One of the things I see all the time, and it's unfortunate, is people set these big goals for themselves and then they go try to do the biggest thing and the most, like the biggest piece of what they're trying to accomplish first, and then they may not get all the way there, they may not accomplish that thing, and they feel so sad and so unmotivated. They never even go through with anything else and they just stop right there. And so the thing that was really important for me was that you got to build momentum. Start with the small stuff. Start with setting good habits. Start with maybe getting up a little earlier. Maybe you're starting to work out more. Maybe you get an internship before you go for the full-time job, right? And sort of set yourself up to where your confidence will increase as you begin to win more and more in your life. If you have a dream job, maybe that's not the first job you apply to. Maybe you build up a couple wins and a couple experiences that you can rely on as proof points that you can accomplish things and that you can confidently go out and do the things you want to do, and that'll build on each other. So over time, the things you accomplish will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then lastly, it's really important to build in moments of reflection where you sort of slow down to reflect on sort of what you've accomplished, what you're grateful for, and really just build in time to pull back from the grind a bit. doing anything substantial with your life is going to take a lot of time. And so you want to make sure that when you're going after these big, hairy goals, you don't burn out. And the way you do that is adding in or making time for rest when you don't necessarily need it, so that your body doesn't take it from you later on in life. I, in my own career, have worked really, really hard, and I've pushed myself to the brink of exhaustion, and I've actually gone past that a couple times. And I've had these terrible migraines that have put me in the hospital and took me out for days because I wasn't yet good at rest. It's easy to hustle and get really good at work, but you've also got to really, really master rest as well. And so make sure you're taking time, you're going on vacations, you're taking PTO, you're pulling back after a tough day and, reading a book that you want to read or watching that TV show. Don't feel bad or guilty for taking a little bit of time for yourself, because you're on this really, really long journey. And if you're building a life for yourself, part of your life is rest. It is leisure. It is enjoyment. It's not just the hustle. That's not to say that hustle isn't required. That's not to say that you won't have to work extremely hard to make real the life that you want to live, but just along the way, pick out the moments and create and carve out the time to give yourself a break as well. Lastly, I want to bring up the double-edged sword of staying focused while also realizing that while your goals may stay hard and may remain unchanged, the methods and actual way you go about them can be soft. For example, if you have a goal of making six figures or becoming a millionaire or starting your own business, that's a great goal to go for, but the exact method in which you go about that, in terms of maybe the career you go out for, the business you actually end up starting, right? Those methods may change, right? And that's okay. If you think about this, the more pieces of the puzzle you start to put together, you may realize that that goal needs to change somewhat, or the method that you thought would get you there only got you 50%, and you have to invent or come up with or discover a new method of going all the way with whatever you want to do. Lastly, I just want to close this video with the fact that I have not made it. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not rich. I haven't done some big crazy thing, right? I'm honestly just a guy who's yapping on the internet, and people have really, really liked it. And so, thank you all so much who continue to believe in me and hype me up and, comment on these videos and send me messages. I promise you I read every single one. And I just wanted to share with you my own framework for personal development, but just understand that I am still in development too. I'm still becoming the person I want to become and that I want to live up to for myself and for everyone along the way who's cheering me on and watching me in some way. So I hope you got something out of this video, and I'll see you next week.